This is Global Signals by Andrew Dremen. Deep dives and insights about retail and FMCG.
Right.
So imagine you are sitting at your desk. It is 2 in the afternoon on a Tuesday,
Sure.
and you just grab a beer to drink while you work, and your boss walks by and they do not even look twice.
Yeah. 10 years ago, that definitely gets you fired.
Exactly. You would be packed up and out the door. But today, that exact situation is actually part of a $41 billion industry.
It really is. It is this massive shift in how people consume beverages, and it is completely changing retail shelves right now.
Yeah, so if you are managing a beverage aisle today, you might look at your standard beer numbers and, well, you might worry a bit.
Sure, the initial numbers look bad.
Right. But the data shows this is not a loss. It is a pivot. So today we are doing a deep dive into a report on FMCG strategy from Andrew Dremen.
And that report is dated August 8th, 2026.
Yes, August 8th. And we are pairing that with some really interesting market data from Statista.
We have a lot of solid numbers to go through here.
We really do. We are going to look at why global beer production is, slowing down in traditional markets.
Which is a big deal.
Yeah. And then we will explore how non-alcoholic beer became a $41 billion market.
Right.
And finally, we will detail exactly how store managers need to change their shelves to actually capture this new revenue.
Because the shelves have to change.
Exactly. So if you work in retail or, if you just want to know why the drink aisle at your local store is changing, this data will show you exactly what is happening behind the scenes.
And we really need to start by looking at what is shrinking. I mean, you cannot understand the new market until you see what is happening to the old one.
Right, the traditional beer market. So the total volume of beer production worldwide, it actually peaked around 2013.
Yeah, 2013 was the top.
And it has been in a slow decline since then.
Right, so global beer production went down 3.9% from 2013 to 2025.
Which, 3.9% sounds pretty small.
It does sound small, but you have to remember, in an industry this size, 3.9% is a massive amount of liquid.
Wow. Yeah, I guess so. And we can see this really clearly when we look at the large established markets.
Right. The report compares output from 2023 to 2025.
So the U.S. output dropped 9.7%. It went down to 174.9 million hectoliters.
Let's just pause on that number for a
Yeah.
second. So a hectoliter is 100 liters. It is just a standard measure in the industry.
Right.
But for a normal consumer, a 9.7% drop, that means hundreds of millions of missing six-packs. It is a huge volume.
Hundreds of millions. Wow. And it is not just the U.S., right? Germany dropped 6.5%.
Yep.
Their output is down to 79.2 million hectoliters.
And Germany is famous for its beer culture. So a 6.5% drop there, it shows a real cultural change.
It really does. And even China is down. They dropped 1.5%.
Right.
And though they still produce a massive amount, they sit at 353.6 million hectoliters. But the trend line is pointing down.
Yes.
And Japan is also down 6.1%.
And this is important, the data shows this decline is not happening everywhere.
Right.
This is a very important point for anyone working in retail. The global drop is real, but some specific countries are actually growing very fast.
Right, yeah, like Vietnam. Vietnam went up 32.8%.
That is a huge jump.
It is. And the UK is up 13.8%, and Russia grew by 8.0%.
So we also have data on the people actually drinking this beer.
Oh, the survey data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The survey looked at regular drinkers, and they define this as adults up to 64 years old.
Right, up to 64.
So Spain is at the top of the list. 35% of respondents there regularly drink beer.
Okay, 45%. And Brazil and Vietnam are right behind them. They both sit at 44%.
Right.
But then, you look at other parts of the world, and the numbers get very low.
Very low.
Like the UAE sits at 16%, Malaysia is at 15%, and Indonesia is at just 6%.
So this just tells us the global market is very uneven.
Right.
Some regions drink a lot of beer, others drink almost none. But the biggest traditional markets are clearly producing less.
So really, this is not a global collapse. It looks like the map of who drinks beer is just being redrawn.
Yes, exactly. It is a shift in the map.
But I have a direct question here. If major markets like the US and Germany are dropping so fast, why is that happening? Are people just tired of beer?
Well, no. The answer is no. People still love beer.
Okay.
In fact, standard beer with alcohol, it still holds about 94% of the global market share.
Wow, 94%. That is a dominant number.
It is. 94% means standard beer is not going away anytime soon. It is still a massive, highly profitable category.
Right.
Manufacturers and retailers, they still rely heavily on it.
So why the drop then?
Well, that 3.9% global drop in volume, It is really about shifting consumer occasions.
Shifting occasions. Okay, so the report lists three main reasons for this.
Right.
First is workday limits. And, this makes perfect sense to me. A logistics worker or an office employee, they cannot drink a heavy lager on a Tuesday lunch break.
Exactly. The modern work schedule just does not allow for midday drinking.
No, definitely not.
You cannot go back to the office desk after drinking alcohol. And you certainly cannot drive a delivery truck.
Right.
So the daily routine blocks the occasion.
Yeah. And the second reason is health choices.
This is a big one.
Yeah. More consumers are tracking their calories, they're trying to improve their sleep, and they are managing fitness routines.
And alcohol, well, it conflicts with all of those goals.
It really does.
People are paying closer attention to their health data now. They wear smartwatches.
Right, the wearables.
Yeah, they see how a beer affects their heart rate overnight. They want better sleep, so they just skip the evening drink.
Makes sense. And the third reason is driving regulations.
Yes.
The report points out that stricter traffic laws globally deter drinking during quick weekday dinners.
Think about it. You go to a quick Wednesday dinner,
Yeah.
you meet a friend, you want to drink,
Sure.
but you have to drive home in 30 minutes. 10 years ago, maybe you might have risked it.
Right.
Today, traffic laws are stricter. Enforcement is tighter globally, so you just do not buy the beer.
So consumers still want the ritual, right? They want to have a beer with a meal, but they cannot afford the physical or mental side effects during a busy week.
Exactly. They want the taste. They want the social feeling of holding a beer.
Yeah.
But the modern limits just get in the way.
Okay, I get the health aspect.
Yeah.
And I understand the strict driving laws.
Yeah.
But I have to push back a little here.
Okay, go ahead.
It seems strange to want a beer if you do not want the alcohol. Why not just drink water or soda?
That is a very common question.
Nah,
But it really comes back to the ritual.
the ritual.
Yeah. Water or soda does not feel the same. A beer has a very specific taste profile.
I guess that is true.
It pairs well with certain heavy foods. A soda is sweet, water is plain.
Right.
People want to keep the familiar ritual of having a beer with a meal, just without the negative effects.
And that leads us to the real aha moment in this data.
Yes,
Because consumers want the ritual without the buzz, a massive new category has taken off.
it really has.
Non-alcoholic beer is now the growth engine of the industry.
And the financial growth here is just huge. The estimated global sales data shows a very clear upward path.
Right, let us look at the numbers. Global sales were $22.4 billion in 2018.
$22.4 billion,
Yeah, and then it hit $30 billion in 2022.
which is a big jump.
It is, and then in 2026, it reached $41 billion.
And it does not stop there. The projection for 2030 is $49.3 billion.
Wow, almost $50 billion. So in 2026, non-alcoholic beer accounts for 6.1% of all global beer sales.
Right.
That is a solid chunk of a massive industry.
It is. And the data also shows us who is buying it.
Right, the top countries.
The top 5 countries buying non-alcoholic beer in 2026 are the U.S., China, India, Germany, and Brazil.
Now that is fascinating. The U.S. and Germany are seeing big drops in standard beer production, right?
Yeah.
But they are top buyers of the non-alcoholic version.
Exactly. The consumer's still there. They just switch products.
Right.
And if we look at this from a business perspective, the benefits are very clear.
Oh, definitely.
This is not just about giving people a healthy option. It is about making good money.
Well, I imagine from a retailer's perspective, dropping the alcohol is a goldmine because you strip out the excise taxes.
Exactly.
And an excise tax is specifically applied to alcohol. So non-alcoholic beer has less excise tax or sometimes none at all.
That is correct. So the profit margin on a non-alcoholic beer is much better. The company keeps more of the money from every single sale.
That makes total sense. And the report also talks about incremental revenue.
Yes.
This seems like a key concept. It means this does not replace normal drinking. It creates entirely new drinking occasions.
This is the most crucial point for the industry.
Okay.
If someone buys a non-alcoholic beer instead of a regular beer on a Friday night, that is just replacement.
Right, a straight swap.
The industry does not make more money. They just swap one bottle for another bottle.
But the report lists new consumption times. Things like weekday lunches,
Right.
afternoon office breaks, designated driving nights, and even post-workout recovery.
These are the new occasions.
Yeah.
These are times when the consumer would normally drink water
Right.
or maybe a coffee.
Right.
Now they are buying a non-alcoholic beer instead. That is incremental revenue. It is entirely new money entering the beer category.
Wait, a beer after the gym or at the office? That completely changes what beer actually is.
I agree completely. It shifts beer from a weekend party drink to an everyday functional beverage.
Functional beverage.
You
Yeah.
can literally drink it at your desk at 2 in the afternoon.
So the audience is much broader now, too. The report says it appeals to athletes, pregnant women, health-conscious buyers, and people who abstain for religious or personal reasons.
That is a massive group of people who previously did not buy beer at all. Now they are active customers.
So this raises a really important question for the retail side.
Right, how do we sell it?
Exactly. We know consumer habits have changed, so retail stores must adapt. The report notes that if a store's beverage sales are flat, it is rarely a lack of demand.
No, it is usually bad store planning.
Right. Outdated layouts or bad promotions.
Store managers need to adapt their strategies right now.
And the report gives an actionable retail strategy for category managers to do exactly that.
Yes, there are 3 main steps they outline.
Right, let us go through them. So
Okay.
the first step is to analyze 12-month trends.
This is where a lot of managers get trapped.
Yeah.
They look at a short 90-day winter report, they see low beer volume, and they panic.
Oh, I see.
So they cut shelf space for the whole year based on that winter data.
Which is a mistake. People drink less cold beer in the winter anyway.
Exactly. The fix is to use rolling 12-month data to see the seasonal swings.
Right. Managers should cut permanent underperforming SKUs, the stock-keeping units. But they have to protect space for stable core products.
You clear out the dead weight, but you keep the space for the steady sellers.
Okay, step 2 is about positioning. You have to position it as premium.
Because where you place a product changes how customers perceive its value.
Right. The mistake is putting non-alcoholic beer on the bottom shelf next to low-cost budget items.
That kills the profit margin. Customers see it down there and think it should be cheap.
The fix is to position it as a premium item. Put it at eye level.
Yes, it needs to sit with other high-value items like premium craft beers.
That makes total sense. And step 3 is about redesigning promotions for weekdays.
Right. The marketing strategy must match the modern lifestyle habit we talked about earlier.
So the mistake is only selling these drinks in weekend party packs or summer BBQ deals.
If someone is buying this for a Tuesday lunch at the office, a weekend party pack makes absolutely no sense.
Right. The fix is weekday cross promotions. Stores should bundle a zero-alcohol beer with a lunchtime meal like a sandwich and chips combo Monday through Thursday.
It treats the product like a normal, everyday item. It makes it very easy for the customer to grab it on a busy Tuesday.
Basically, you have to treat non-alcoholic beer like a premium lunch item. If you treat it like a cheap weekend party supply, you are doing it wrong and losing money.
Exactly. So to sum it up, the global beer market is stabilizing in volume, but the value is moving toward functional, zero-proof options. Standard beer is still dominant, but buzz-free beer is the engine for future growth.
Because it creates entirely new drinking occasions.
Yes, and it has great margins. Retailers just need to update their shelves to catch up with the consumer.
Well, we looked at the slow decline of traditional beer production. We explored how non-alcoholic beer became a $41 billion market, and we showed exactly how store managers need to change their shelves.
It really is a massive shift in consumer routine.
It is. So I want to leave you with a thought to explore on your own.
Okay.
If a traditional weekend item like beer can successfully rebrand itself as a healthy weekday lunch or post-workout option, what other traditional junk food or party items might try to reinvent themselves for the weekday wellness crowd next?
Oh, wow. That is a great question to think about.
You are listening to Global Signals by Andrew Drummond. Deep dives and insights about retail and FMCG.